So now it's the time you've been waiting for. We are now going to reveal our nominees for 2012 Game of the Year.
And I think the thing that stood out for me this year is there's a great diversity of games that are being nominated.
There really is. We've got downloadable stuff, we've got retail stuff, we've got a handheld game on there.
We've got shooters, we've got games without any combat, we have strategy games.
Pretty much, if you're into games, you're going to find something on this list that you like. And certainly, this is a list of games that we really love.
Okay.
So let's move on and show you our nominees for 2012 Game of the Year.
The nominees for GameSpot's Game of the Year are Journey, Spelunky, Guild Wars 2, Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward, Mass Effect 3,
The Reapers won't stop at Earth. They'll destroy every organic being in the galaxy if we don't find a way to stop them.
Mark of the Ninja,
The neighbor.
The Walking Dead,
Out of town.
Looks like you hurt your leg pretty bad there. How'd this happen?
XCOM Enemy Unknown, Dishonored, Halo 4, and the winner is Journey.
People get excited about a lot of things when they talk about Journey, but for me the thing that always comes back to is how beautiful it is. And it sounds kind of shallow, but you know, when people are talking about all these other mechanics and stuff, but the game is just gorgeous.
It takes simple mechanics and uses them to elicit such deep emotion. And I think it's really easy for some people to look at Journey and say, this game is so simple, it's not really doing anything interesting. But I would beg to differ.
Spending time in the world that that company made is just like, oh my God, it's so incredible. Just the little touches from the music of the game to the artistic visuals to it, and that incredible co-op that they included in there where you run into another player but you don't know whether they're AI controlled or a human being, but as time goes on you discover through the way that you two are never quite sure where to be going, and you're experiencing this story together that you discover, wait, this is another person that I'm playing alongside. But the game doesn't sort of like shove that information in your face. You're kind of discovering it with them.
It's the way that it connects you to another human through this wordless cooperative integration where someone is just appears and they're with you and they're their companion, and then you turn around and they're gone and they disappeared, and you feel that that loneliness and that loss.
I think that Journey's gameplay gets a real bum rap. I think it takes this simplicity of movement, but it also makes it feel enthralling and wonderful to just simply move. You know, you really feel the joy and the loneliness at the same time of drifting down sand dunes. And sometimes the game just sends you forward at such great speeds that all you can do is just feel the uplift of that one moment before it comes to a halt, and then sometimes you have to trudge up through the sand and you feel it working against you.
And for me personally, one of the reasons I really grew attached to Journey is that unlike so many games out there, and this isn't necessarily bad, but unlike so many games, it doesn't focus on killing.
There is violence in the world of Journey. You can take hits from, monsters that come later on, and you definitely have brushes with you know, what seems like death, but you aren't jumping on anything's head. You're not shooting anything. You're not sticking a sword into anything. And that's a pretty basic thing in terms of that game design, but you look at all the other nominees and a lot of the games we're talking about here, Journey is one of the only ones without that violent expression.
You don't kill anyone, you don't get killed. It's about experiencing life and the journey of life, and it's something that we can relate to more than how most games, you know, that you have to shoot someone, you have to jump on their head to kill them. And I really appreciate that Journey was able to be engaging and compelling without relying on the oldest trope in storytelling, basically.
There's also the issue of feeling, and a lot of people will tell you, and I'm one of them, that Journey made them cry. And I think that's incredible in and of itself, but I think it's important to look at and see, why did it do this? How does this game have that power? And I think a lot of it comes down to the way it takes very simple things and makes them analogies for our lives.
It's a game that speaks to like the fundamental emotions we feel, as opposed to trying to rope us in with like exciting action like so many games rely on.
You know, obviously I think most people at this stage realize that Journey is an analogy not just for life, but for you know, potentially for the death that comes, and then the reward that we have for enduring what we've endured on Earth. And then it begins again anew.
Journey was just this singular achievement of a game that I can't say that I've played anything like it in the past. Just that, you know, that story that unfolds in the game is so incredible and so unlike anything else that I've ever played. It's a game that I can recommend to anybody. Doesn't matter whether they're into zombies, doesn't matter whether they're into video games. I can recommend Journey to anybody, and I'm quite certain that they would have a great time with it.
The fact that there are legions of games out there that make violence a game mechanic and something that's fun to experience in the video game realm, you know, that's great, and I love a lot of those games. But with Journey getting to play as a non-violent character, getting to adventure through a world where where what I'm overcoming is not someone or something else, where my progress is not at the cost of lives or, you know, other beings. That's powerful, and that's something that does not happen a lot in video games, and I think that's one of the things that makes Journey such a standout game this year.
Game of the Year is always tough because it's like, well, what are we celebrating? And for me, Journey is the best game of the year because it shows how far we've come in the industry and how important it is to have these individual experiences that really hit home to us, as opposed to like the wide sweeping stuff that we've become accustomed to.